Good morning and happy Mother's Day to all. I am doing my Bible study early to because I had plans for today. And so we're going to read Ecclesiastes, and that's what I was called to read today. So here we go. All right, so we'll get started, and I'm saying hi to everyone now. And let me get my prop on my back, and we gonna get started. Okay. All right. So Ecclesiastes, we're reading. All right. La 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 la. Okay, I see the mic is on, and make sure everything is turned up and the bright. All right. Ecclesiastes 1. These are the words of the teacher, a son of David, king in Jerusalem. The teacher says, useless, useless, completely useless. Everything is useless. Why? What do people really gain from all the hard work they do here on earth? Ecclesiastes 1:4. I'm not going to keep saying that word. I'm already messing up. Okay. People live and people die, but the earth continues forever. The sun rises, the sun sets, and then it hurries back to where it rises again. The wind blows to the south. It blows to the north. It blows from one direction and then another. Then it turns around and repeats the same pattern, going nowhere. All of the rivers flow to the sea, but the sea never becomes full. Everything is boring, so boring that you don't even want to talk about it. Words come again and again to our ears, but we never hear enough, nor can we ever really see all we want to see. All things continue the way we have been since the beginning. What has happened will happen again. There is nothing new here on earth. Someone might say, look, this is new, but really, it has always been there. It was here before we were. People don't remember what happened long ago. And in the future, people will not remember what happens now. Even later, other people will not remember what was done before them. The teacher was king over Israel in Jerusalem. Let me rephrase that. I'm Ecclesiastes 1:12. I, the teacher, was king over Israel in Jerusalem. I decided to use my wisdom to learn about everything that happens on earth. I learned that God has given us terrible things to face. I looked at everything done on earth and saw that it is all useless, like chasing the wind. If something is crooked, you can't make it straight. If something is missing, you can't say it is there. I said to myself, I have become very wise, am now wiser than anyone who ruled Jerusalem before me. I know what wisdom and knowledge really are. So I decided to find out about wisdom and knowledge and also about foolish thinking. But this turned out to be like chasing the wind. With much wisdom comes much disappointment. The person who gains more knowledge also gains more sorrow. Chapter 2. Oh, thank you, Triple. Thank you. And thank you all who, your mother, bless your mother's mother, everyone, your sisters, anyone who have kids, who's being that parent, or know how to be or doing their best. Okay. Chapter 2. I said to myself, I will try having fun. I will enjoy myself, but I found that this is also useless. It is foolish to laugh all the time, and having fun doesn't accomplish anything. What the hell? Look, not nice. Sorry about that. All right. I wanted to find a way to enjoy myself and see what was good for people to do during their few days of life. 2:4. Then I did great things. I built houses and planted vineyards for myself. I made gardens and parks, and I planted all kinds of fruit trees in them. I made pools of water for myself and used them to water my growing trees. I bought male and female slaves, and slaves were also born in my house. I had large herds and flocks, more than anyone in Jerusalem had ever had before. I also gathered silver and gold for myself, treasures from things in other areas. I made male and female singers and all the women and men could ever want. I became very famous, even greater than anyone who had lived in Jerusalem before me. My wisdom helped me in all this. Anything I saw and wanted, I got for myself. I did not miss any pleasure I desired. I was pleased with everything I did, and this pleasure was the reward for all my hard work. But then I looked at what I had done, and I thought about all the hard work. Suddenly, I realized it was useless, like chasing the wind. There is nothing to gain from anything we do here on earth. 2:12. Then I began to think again about being wise and also about being foolish and doing crazy things. But after all, what more can anyone do? He can't do more than what the other king has already done. I saw that being wise is certainly better than being foolish. That is like it that oh hopefully it's one minute. Excuse me. I had to get that out. I want to sneeze on y'all. Let me go wash my hands. I'll be back. All right. So where were we? Okay, we is on chapter 2, verse 4. Then I did great things. I built houses and planted vineyards for myself. I made gardens and park. Are we past that? Anybody know? Okay, I think we passed that. All right, we're at 2:15. I thought to myself, what happens to a fool will happen to me too. So, what is the reward for being wise? I said to myself, being wise is also useless. The wise person and the fool will both die, and no one will remember either one for long. In the future, both will be forgotten. 2:17. So I hated life. It made me sad to think that everything here on earth is useless, like chasing the wind. I hated all the things I had worked for here on earth because I must leave them to someone who will live after me. Someone else will control everything for which I worked so hard here on earth. And I don't know if he will be wise or foolish. This is also useless. So I became sad about all the hard work I had done here on earth. People can work hard using all their wisdom, knowledge, and skill, but they will die, and other people will get the things for which they work. They did not do the work, but they will get everything. This is also unfair and useless. What do people get for all their hard work and struggling here on earth? All of their lives, their work is full of pain and sorrow, and even at night, their minds don't rest. This is also useless. The best that people can do is eat, drink, and enjoy their work. I saw that even this comes from God because no one can eat or enjoy life without Him. If people please God, God will give them wisdom, knowledge, and joy. But sinners will get only the work of gathering and storing wealth that they will have to give to the ones who please God. So all their work is useless, like chasing the wind. Chapter 3. There's a time for everything, and everything on earth has a special season. There's a time to be born and a time to die. There's a time to plant and a time to pull up plants. There's a time to kill and a time to heal. There's a time to destroy and a time to build. There's a time to cry and a time to laugh. There's a time to be sad and a time to dance. There's a time to throw away stones and a time to gather them. There's a time to hug and a time not to hug. Excuse me. There's a time to look for something and a time to stop looking for it. There's a time to keep things and a time to throw things away. There's a time to tear apart and a time to sew together. There's a time to be silent and a time to speak. There's a time to love and a time to hate. There's time for war and a time for peace. 3:9. Do people really gain anything from their work? I saw the hard work God has given people to do. God has given them a desire to know the future. He does everything just right and on time, but people can never completely understand what he is doing. So I realized that the best thing for them is to be happy and enjoy themselves as long as they live. God wants all people to eat and drink and be happy in their work, which are gifts from God. I know that everything God does will continue forever. People cannot add anything to what God has done, and they cannot take anything away from it. God does it in this way to make people respect him. What happens now has happened in the past, and what will happen in the future has happened before. God makes the same things happen again and again. All right, let me write that. Let me grab my tissue, my hanker. All right, excuse me. All right, sweetness. This is my sister calling me right quick. Hold on. Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day to you too. How's everything going?
I'm having Bible study online. So say hello to the people, Eve.
Hello, Bible study people.
All right, so I call you back. Happy Mother's Day, and I call you back when I'm done.
Oh, okay. I was trying to wish Nookie a happy birthday, but
yeah, it was yesterday. You're late, but he fine. He good.
Okay.
I'll give him the phone. Nah, your auntie wants you on the phone. All right. Let me go give him the phone. Hold on. All right. Let's get back to it. That's it. All right, so we were let's do 3 chapter 16. All right. I also saw this here on earth where there should have been justice, there was evil. Where there should have been right, there was wrong. I said to myself, let me see. Got the light. Let's go this way. Feel more comfortable. All right. Let me see. I said to myself, God has planned a time for everything and every action. So he will judge both good people and bad. I decided that God leaves it that way. It is to test people and to show them they are just like animals. The same thing happens to animals and to people. They both have the same breath, so they both die. People are no better off than the animals because everything is useless, but end up the same way. Both came from dust and both will go back to dust. Who can be sure that the human spirit goes up to God and that the spirit of an animal goes down into the ground? So I saw that the best thing people can do is to enjoy their work because that is all they have. No one can help another person see what will happen in the future. Chapter 4. Again, I saw other people who were mistreated here on earth. I saw their tears and that they had no one to comfort them. Cruel people had all the power, and there was no one to comfort those they hurt. I decided that the dead are better off than the living, but those who have never been born are better off still. They have not seen the evil that is done here on earth. 4:4. I realize the reason people work hard and try to succeed. They are jealous of each other. This, too, is useless, like chasing the wind. Some say it is foolish to fold your hands and do nothing because you will starve to death. Maybe so, but I say it is better to be content with what little you have. Otherwise, you will always be struggling for more. And that is like chasing the wind. Again, I saw something here on earth that was useless. I saw a man who had no family, no son or brother. He always worked hard, but was never satisfied with what he had. He never asked himself, for whom am I working so hard? Why don't I let myself enjoy life? This also is very sad and useless. Two people are better than one because they get more done by working together. If one falls down, the other can help him up. But it is bad for the person who is alone and falls because no one is there to help. If two lie down together, they will be warm, but a person alone will not be warm. An enemy might defeat one person, but two people together can defend themselves. A rope that is woven of three strings is hard to break. 413. A poor but wise boy is better than a foolish but old king who doesn't listen to advice. A boy became king. He had been born poor in the kingdom and had even gone to prison before becoming king. I watched all the people who live on earth follow him and make him their king. Many followed him at first, but later they did not like him either. So fame and power are useless, like chasing the wind. Chapter 5. Be careful when you go to worship at the temple. It is better to listen than to offer foolish sacrifices without even knowing what you are doing. Think before you speak and be careful about what you say to God. God is in heaven and you are on the earth. So only a few words to God. Say only, okay, rephrase that. God is in heaven and you are on the earth. So say only a few words to God. The saying is true. Bad dreams come from too much worrying, and too many words come from foolish people. If you make a promise to God, don't slow to keep it. God is not happy with fools. So give God what you promised. It is better not to promise anything than to promise something and not do it. Don't let your words cause you to sin. And don't say to the priest at the temple, I didn't mean what I promised. If you do, God will become angry with your words and will destroy everything you have worked for. Many useless promises are like so many dreams. They mean nothing. You should respect God. Oh, thank you. I love purple. I'm gonna try to go brighter now. All right. 5:8. In some places, you will see poor people mistreated. Don't be surprised when they are not treated fairly or given their rights. One officer is cheated by a higher officer, who in turn is cheated by even higher officers. The wealth of the country is divided up among them all. Even the king makes sure he gets his share of the profits. Whoever loves money will never have enough money. Whoever loves wealth will not be satisfied with it. This is also useless. The more wealth people have, the more friends they have to help them spend it. So, what do people really gain? They gain nothing except to look at their riches. Those who work hard sleep in peace. It is nothing, it is not important if they eat little or much, but rich people worry about their wealth and cannot sleep. I have seen real misery here on earth. Money saved is a curse to its owners. They lose it all in a bad deal or have nothing to give their children. People come into this world with nothing, and when they die, they leave with nothing. If I can get this. Okay. In spite of all their hard work, they leave just as they come. This, too, is real misery. They leave just as they came. So, what do they gain from chasing the wind? All they got are days full of sadness and sorrow, and they end up sick, defeated, and angry. 5:18. I have seen what is best for people here on earth. They should eat and drink and enjoy their work because the life God has given them on earth is short. God gives some people the ability to enjoy the wealth and property He gives them, as well as the ability to accept their state in life and enjoy their work. They do not worry about how short life is because God keeps them busy with what they love to do. Chapter 6. I have seen something else wrong here on earth that causes serious problems for people. God gives great wealth, riches, and honor to some people. They have everything they want, but God does not let them enjoy such things. A stranger enjoys them instead. This is useless and very wrong. A man might have 100 children and live a long time, but what good is it if he can't enjoy the good God gives him or have a proper burial? I say a baby born dead is better off than he is. A baby born dead is useless. It returns to darkness without even a name. That baby never saw the sun and never knew anything, but it finds more rest than that man. Even if he lives 2,000 years, he doesn't enjoy the good God gives him. Everyone is going to the same place. People work just to feed themselves, but they never seem to get enough to eat. In this way, a wise person is no better off than a fool. Then, too, does a poor person little good to know how to get along in life. It is better to see what you have more than to want more. I'm gonna read that verse again. 6:9. It is better to see what you have than to want more. Wanting more is useless, like chasing the wind. Whatever happens was planned long ago. Everyone knows what people are like. No one can argue with God, who is stronger than anyone. The more you say, the more useless it is. What good does it do? People have only a few useless days of life on the earth. Their short life passes like a shadow. Who knows what is best for them while they live? Who can tell them what the future will bring? I think it's the King James Version. It says New Century Version. I was like, so they got like so many versions, but it's like more broken down so you can like I guess let me see, like if I read the King James Version, like I got 3 Bibles over here. One is gonna have more syllables than the other. Like this is more English, like broken down, so you can, I can read it more clearly. But let me see if I go to Ecclesiastes in here. Let me see if it read differently. I'm gonna try it out right quick. Because this chapter don't have that many chapters in it, so I won't be on long. I thought it'd be bigger, but I was told to read this one today. And that's what I want to like work on, memorizing all the chapters of the Bible so I can go to. Like I hate like not knowing like which one is next to the other, but I know it's next to Chronicles. Corinthians. Okay, it's next to Isaiah. All right, let me find Isaiah. Okay, there we go. Now we Hebrews. I know we're spiritual beings. So once I get to that part in the Bible that just tells us that this is, I know we everybody has a even white people, black people, Mexicans, everybody comes from one. It's just that as the climates and through the years we just shifted, color, everything wise. So all right, so I'm gonna read this version is the King. Let me see. Let's see if this is the King James Version. All right. Now, see, when they say English Standard Version, I don't know if they mean like they broke down the King James Version and made it more English, All right, so I'm on, let me see. So we're going to read 6, 7. We're going to start at chapter 7. Okay. Okay. A good name is better than precious ointment, the day of death than the day of birth. It is better to go to the house of mourning than to go to the house of feasting, for this is the end of all mankind, and the living will lay it to heart. Sorrow is better than laughter, for sadness of face, the heart is made glad. The heart of the wise is in the house of mourning, but the heart of fools is in the house of mirth. It is better for man to hear the rebuke of the wise than to hear the song of fools. For the crackling of thorns under a pot, so it is laughter of the fools that is also that's For the crackling of thorns under a pot, 7:6. So is the laughter of fools. This is also vanity. Surely oppression drives the wise into madness, and a bribe corrupts the heart. Better is the end of a thing than its beginning, and the patient in the spirit is better than the proud in spirit. Be not quick in your spirit to become angry, for anger lodges in the heart of fools. Say not, why were the former days better than these? For it is not from wisdom that you ask this. Wisdom is good with an inheritance, an advantage to those who see the sun. For protection of wisdom is like the protection of money, and the advantage of knowledge is that wisdom preserves the life of him who has it. Consider the work of God, who can make straight what he has made crooked. In the day of prosperity, be joyful, and in the day of adversity, consider. God has made the one as well as the other, so that man may not find out anything that will be after him. In my vain life, I have seen everything. There is a righteous man who perishes in his righteousness, and there is a wicked man who prolongs his life in his evil doing. Be not overly righteous, and do not make yourself too wise. Why should you destroy yourself? Be not overly wicked, neither be a fool. Why should you die before your time? It is good that you should take hold of this, and from that withhold not your hand, for the one who fears God shall come out from both of them. Wisdom gives strength to the wise man more than 10 rulers who are in a city. Surely there is not a righteous man on earth who does good and never sins. Do not take to heart all the things that people say, lest you hear your servant cursing you. Your heart knows that many times you yourself have cursed others. All this I have tested by wisdom. I said, I will be wise, but it was far from me. That which has been in far off and deep, very deep, who can find it out? I turned my heart to know and to search out and to seek wisdom and the scheme of things, and to know the wickedness of folly and the foolishness that is madness. 7:26. And I find something more bitter than death. The woman whose heart is snares and nets, and whose hands are fetters. He who pleases God escapes her, but the sinner is taken by her. Behold, this is what I found, says the preacher, while adding one thing to another to find the scheme of things, which my soul has sought repeatedly, but I have not found. One man among 1,000 I found, but a woman among all these I have not found. See, this alone I found, that God made man upright, but they have sought out many schemes. 8. Who is like the wise, and who knows the interpretation of a thing? A man's wisdom makes his face shine, and the hardness of his face is changed. I say, keep the king's command because of God's oath to him. Be not hasty to go from his presence. Do not take your stand in an evil cause, for he does whatever he pleases. For the word of the king is supreme, and who may say to him, what are you doing? Whoever keeps a command will know no evil thing, and the wise heart will know the proper time and the just way. 8:6. For there is a time and a way for everything, although man's trouble lies heavy on him. For he does not know what is to be, for who can tell him how it will be? No man has power to retain the spirit or power over the day of death. There is no discharge from war, nor will wickedness deliver those who are given to it. All this I observed while applying my heart to all that is done under the sun, when man had power over man to his hurt. 8:10. When those who fear God will do well. Then I saw the wicked buried. They used to go in and out of the holy place and were praised in the city where they had done such things. This is also this also is vanity, because the sentence against an evil deed is not executed speedily. The heart of the children of man is fully set to do evil. Though a sinner does evil 100 times and prolongs his life, yet I know that it will be well with those who fear God, because they fear before him. but it will not be well with the wicked, neither will be prolonged his days like a shadow, because he does not fear before God. There is vanity that takes place on earth, that there are righteous people to whom it happens according to the deeds of the wicked, and there are wicked people to whom it happens according to the deeds of the righteous. I said that this is also vanity. I commend joy, for man has nothing better under the sun but to eat and drink and be joyful, for this will go with him in his toil through the days of his life that God has given under the sun. While 8:16. When I applied my heart to know wisdom and to see the business that is done on earth, how neither day nor night do one's eyes see sleep. Then I saw all the work of God that man cannot find out, the work that is done under the sun. However much man may toil in seeking, he will not find it out. Even though a wise man claims to know, he cannot find it out. 9. But all this I lay to earth, examining it all, how the righteous and the wise in their deeds are in the hand of God. Whether it is love or hate, man does not know, both are before him. It is the same for all, since the same event happens to the righteous and the wicked, to the good and the evil, and to the clean and the unclean, to him who sacrifices and him who does not sacrifice. As the good one is, so is the sinner, and he who swears is as he who shuns an oath. This is an evil. This is an evil in all that is done under the sun, that the same event happens to all. Also, the hearts of the children of men are full of evil, and madness is in their hearts while they live, and after that they go to the dead. But he who is joined with all the living has hope, for a living dog is better than a dead lion. For the living know that they will die, but the dead know nothing, and they have no more reward, for the memory of them is forgotten. Their love and their hate and their envy have already perished, and forever they have no more share in it all that is done under the sun. 9:7. Let me see what this one sounds like. So go eat your food and enjoy it. Drink your wine and be happy, because that is what God wants you to do. Put on nice clothes and make yourself look good. Enjoy life with the wife you love. Enjoy all the useless days of this useless life God has given you here on earth, because it is all you have. So enjoy the work you do here on earth. Whatever work you do your best, because you are going to the grave where there is no working, nor no planning, no knowledge, and no wisdom. I also saw something else here on earth. The fastest runner does not always win the race. The strongest soldier does not always win the battle. The wisest does not always have food. The smartest does not always become wealthy. And the talented one does not always receive praise. Time and chance happen to everyone. No one knows what will happen next. Like a fish caught in a net or a bird caught in a trap, people are trapped by evil when it suddenly falls on them. 9, wait a minute, 13. I also saw something wise here on earth that impressed me. There was a small town with only a few people in it. A great king fought against it and put his armies all around it. Now there was a poor but wise man in the town who used his wisdom to save his town. But later on, everyone forgot about him. I still think wisdom is better than strength, but those people forgot about the poor man's wisdom and stopped listening to what he said. The quiet words of a wise person are better than the shouts of a foolish ruler. Wisdom is better than weapons of war, but one sinner can destroy much good. Chapter 10. Dead flies can make even perfume stink. In the same way, a little foolishness can spoil wisdom. The heart of the wise leads to right, but the heart of a fool leads to wrong. Even in the way fools walk along the road, they show they are not wise. They show everyone how stupid they are. Don't leave your job just because your boss is angry with you. Remaining calm solves great problems. There is something else wrong that happens here on earth. It is the kind of mistake rulers make. Fools are given important positions. Y'all heard that? 10:6. Fools are given important decisions. Okay. While gifted people are given lower ones. I have seen servants ride her horses while princes walk like servants on foot. Anyone who digs a pit might fall into it. Anyone who knocks down a wall might be bitten by a snake. Anyone who moves boulders might be hurt by them. And anyone who cuts logs might be harmed by them. A dull axe means harder work. Being wise will make it easier. If a snake bites the tamer before it is tamed, what good is the tamer? The words of the wise bring them praise, but the words of a fool will destroy them. A fool begins by saying foolish things and ends by saying crazy and wicked things. A fool talks too much. No one knows the future, and no one can tell what will happen after death. Work wears fools out. They don't even know how to get home. That is true. You remember that? But it was a situation about the police officer going to the wrong door, and they end up costing somebody their lives. 10:16. How terrible it is for a country whose king is a child and whose leaders eat all morning. How lucky a country is whose king comes from a good family, whose leaders eat only at mealtime and for strength not to get drunk. If someone is lazy, the roof will begin to fall. If he doesn't fix it, the house will leak. A party makes you feel good, wine makes you feel happy, and money buys anything. Don't make fun of a king and don't make fun of rich people, even in your bedroom. Okay. A little bird might carry your words. A bird might fly and tell them what you said. Okay. Chapter 11. Invest what you have because after a while you will get a return. Invest what you have in several different businesses because you don't know what disasters might happen. If clouds are full of rain, they will shower on the earth. A tree can fall to the north or south, but it will stay where it falls. Those who wait for perfect weather will never plant seeds. Those who look at every cloud will never harvest crops. You don't know where the wind will blow, and you don't know how a baby grows inside the mother. In the same way, you don't know what God is doing or how He created everything. Plant early in the morning and work until evening because you don't know if this or that will succeed. They might both do well. 11:7. Like the serpent in the garden of Eden. And even with that, it's like, why would you want to be smarter than your father? Like, that's the whole concept of it all. Like the snake came into the garden and was telling them, don't you want to be like God? I don't want to be like my father. He has a purpose just like I have a purpose as the daughter. So that was selfish of them. They did a selfish act from the beginning. They had no more to do with both of them. It was a selfish act. you know so just to tap on the Garden of Eden. Yeah. Sunshine is sweet. 11:7. Sunshine is sweet. It is good to see the light of day. People ought to enjoy every day of their lives, no matter how long they live. But they should also remember this: you will be dead a long time. Everything that happens then is useless. Young people, enjoy yourselves while you are young. Be happy while you are young. Do whatever your heart desires, whatever you want to do. But remember that God will judge you for everything you do. Don't worry and forget the troubles of your body because youth and childhood are useless. I'm almost done, right? The problems of old age. Remember your creator while you are young, before the days of trouble come and the years when you say, I find no pleasure in them. When you get old, the light from the sun, moon, and the stars will grow dark. The rain clouds will never seem to go away. At that time, your arms will shake and your legs will become weak. Your teeth will fall out so you cannot chew. At the time, your arms will shake and your legs will become weak and your teeth will fall out so you cannot chew. and your eyes will not see clearly. Your ears will be deaf to the noise in the streets, and you will barely hear the milestone grinding grain. You'll wake up when a bird starts singing. You will barely hear singing, but you will barely hear singing. You will fear high places and will be afraid to go for a walk. Your hair will become white like the flowers on an almond tree. You will limp along like a grasshopper when you walk. Your appetite will be gone. Then you will go to your everlasting home, and people will go to your funeral. Soon your life will snap like a silver chain or break like a golden bowl. You will be like a broken pitcher at a spring or a broken wheel at a well. You will turn back into dust of the earth again, but your spirit will return to God who gave it. Everything is useless. The teacher says that everything is useless. The teacher was very wise and taught the people what he knew. He very carefully thought about, studied, and set in order many wise teachings. The teacher looked for just the right words to write what is dependable and true. 12:11. Words from wise people are like sharp sticks used to guide animals. They are like nails that have been driven in firmly. Altogether, they are wise teachings that come from one shepherd. So be careful, my son, about other teachings. People are always writing books, and too much study will make you tired. Now everything has been heard, so I give my final advice. Honor God and obey his commands, because this is all people must do. God will judge everything, even what is done in secret, the good and the evil. That is all. Thank y'all for chilling with me. And this Bible tells about the past, the present, and the future. Okay, regardless if y'all say how many writings, how many situations, everything it talks about it, and it prepares you the foundation. He is not looking for perfection because he was not perfect. Okay, same thing with the like. Let's talk about the 12 disciples real quick. You know, these people he wrote he came across and said, "Come with me." He didn't say, "Give me a resume." He told these disciples, "Come with me," and they followed him. Okay. And so he practice the sermon? Did he say Judas was he didn't know nothing about Judas, you know what I'm saying? But there was a thief in his camp, you know, a liar in his camp, so forth, so forth. You know what I'm saying? So it's like God expects, doesn't expect imperfection. He just expects you to do the right thing. And if you're able to explain yourself, you know what I'm saying, that is just too easy. Just live right. That's all he has for his kids. He's the father. Now if you're trying to be like him, that's the problem. Okay. God like, okay, but not God. All right. Exactly. They go. It wasn't no pressure. So that's why he's not telling everybody on earth, hey, there ain't no pressure to follow me. I mean, hey, look, I done created you. I told you who I am. I give you these things to supply your life. You know what I'm saying? God, whatever. But it's your choice. You want to go off of man-made objects. You want to go after man-made things. Too easy. All right. But I'll holler at you when you come back and see me. That's all you're saying. Hey, you going to be back. So enjoy your day. Thank you for chilling with me. Thank you, Tripper, for hanging in there. You're so sweet. And stay blessed and many blessings. Happy Mother's Day. I'm gonna go enjoy mine. I'm gonna go try because I be doing stuff anyway. It's Mother's Day every day for me. I love my kids. I'm healthy, and I'm so thankful to be a mother. There's people that's who are trying to be mothers, who are paying to be mothers, who just and what I mean by paying to be mothers is just like taking on ownership, to where other people's may have flaws. So check that link in the chat. All right, what name? I gotta check the link. Okay, I'll scroll up and check it. Okay. I need to get. Are you talking about like StreamYards? I need to get hooked up on StreamYards. All right, but y'all stay blessed, and I'm gonna try to do that, the StreamYards. But I want to have more topics. Like when I get my lineup, get my office set up and stuff, I'm gonna start having like shows, like, shows, whatever. So, all right. Be that. Oh,